All our beloved characters from Zootopia are knocking on our doors, and we are so ready to let them into our houses and our screens. November 9th is marked on the calendar, and we have everything ready for a binge-watch party on Disney+. Lots of snacks, family, and friends, and we can't wait to return to furryland. Zootopia, and explore in more depth the in-universe marvels of this Academy Award-winning masterpiece from the House of Mouse. They kept us waiting almost until the last day without releasing a proper trailer. But we got a first look at a taste of what's to come. But the trailer is here finally, and we're gonna expand on everything we found on the first look with all the tiny details you missed in Zootopia Plus's trailer. Let's begin.
Hey kids, don't you run through that Mindy Camp and Holly Cynthias.
Zootopia Plus will take us back to the fast-paced animal metropolis of Zootopia in a short series format that will dive deeper into the lives of some of the Oscar-winning feature film's intriguing residents. Among these characters getting a lore expansion pack, we have Frou Frou, the fashion-forward Arctic shrew, ZPD dispatcher Clawhauser, the sweet-toothed cheetah, and everybody's favorite character, Flash, the good vibes sloth who just can't stop being awesome. The series is directed by Josie, who worked previously as head of story for Zootopia and Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Trent, known for Big Hero 6, Raya and The Last Dragon, and Frozen. In the production department, we have Nathan, who has worked as an associate producer in Encanto, and Raya and The Last Dragon. With this crew behind the magic and the general idea of expanding the Zootopia universe with a series of in-depth looks into the lesser-known characters during the same time of the events of the film, we are sure that Zootopia Plus will be a great success that leads us to a proper sequel in no time. We already talked about that first look at Zootopia Plus released by Disney, but now we have the opportunity to expand on what we saw there with new bits of info from the trailer. Let's do a little travel around each episode once again and see all the new stuff we can find. Oh, and we have some good news for the fans of the original Zootopia duo. Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde are confirmed to cameo in the action parody and may make other appearances throughout. But for the fans of Giselle, the news isn't that bright though. While all the cast members from the movie are reprising their roles, Giselle is going to be the exception. Contrary to what we said in our first look video, it has now been confirmed that Shakira is not coming back to voice the role, and instead, she'll be voiced by an American singer, Allison Strong.
I love your hair.
Thank you.
The scene with the giant-sized donut looking massive from a rodent perspective that almost gets killed by it introduces us to the dynamics in Little Rodentinia and its more accommodated side presented as a Real Housewives spoof with Frou Frou as the main character. And is it just us, or does that scene heavily look inspired by the flying bus scene in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness? Anyhow, the episode seems to be a meta approach to this reality TV show and its rating troubles as they try to get the participants together to perfect the show's format. It seems we're gonna go through all kinds of upper-class people problems such as wine servings, hairdos, and wardrobes. It'll be interesting to see how they turn this episode into some kind of good message. The musical starring Duke Weaselton will expand on Duke's obsession with money as he fantasizes about having it all for himself. We only get to hear him say, "Oh money, you complete me," which doesn't give us too much to work with beyond the fact that he, well, loves money. It's no surprise that this episode has a heavy focus on money and luxury, since those are the goals every low-tier criminal is after, right? What does come as a surprise is that Duke, the musical, already gave away the format and tone of the episode, completely distinguishing it from the previous ones. We have to wait and see what the episode can offer beyond all of these visions of cars, gold, and possessions. Maybe this weasel will learn some kind of important lesson about his beliefs and his goals in life.
The kid's home, then watch out for Timmy, he's a biter!
I'm not changing any diapers!
Remember when we said in our first look video that this action parody starring Bonnie and Stu Hopps needed a good nanny taking care of the 270-something kids that would be left left at the carrot farm? Well, in the trailer we learned that they gave the responsibility to Bonnie's dad, a tired-looking Grandpa Rabbit that doesn't look really thrilled with the ordeal. Seeing that little Timmy is bitter and starts chaos right away, and that Grandpa is really unwilling to change diapers, we think this episode could alternate the scenes of the train pursuit with some funny looks, the mayhem that will ensue around poor Grandpa. That would be hilarious. On the other hand, we'll see Hops desperately trying to deal with technology as they try to get in touch with Judy and reach the train she's on. Oh man, and that joke about the one place in a sheep that has no wool definitely made us laugh. Let's hop, all episodes are like that.
He went crazy. Ripped up the car, scared my driver half to death.
The Grandfather of the Bride episode will be presented as a film noir parody, with Mr. Big telling us the story of his grandmother, someone who he spoke fondly of in the Zootopia movie. We can see Mr. Big as a child next to Grandpa and some more flashbacks when he explains how hard life was for the little mammals back in the day. This would be a nice contrast to all the luxury and superficiality that has taken over little Rodentinia. We even get a voiceover from Mr. Big explaining the mood of this story and, in general, what we can consider the overall message of the show. He says the family you have makes you rich, the friends you choose make them family, and with all these things, you will never feel small. Salute. We think this might be the closing statement of the episode after he told us the whole story of the hardships his family went through as immigrants.
Officer Hops just called. She found all of them.
Wow, I'm impressed.
In this dance competition show parody with Clawhauser, Bogo, and Giselle, we'll see how far these cops are willing to go to win a ticket to see their favorite star alive. This one will be a lighter episode using another famous television format, the one taken from the widely famous American reality TV dancing show So You Think You Can Dance. Just as the Gerbil Jerks say, a spectacular show with some amazing talent that kind of reminds us of the audition process the animals do for Mr. Crystal and Sing 2. Remember, but in a bigger format with real judges. And yeah, we're not gonna start comparing Zootopia with Sing 2, or this would never end. When Clawhauser shouts Giselle I'm coming in utter excitement, we really hope he's referring to actually going to the show. It would be really funny to see a showdown between police officers if Bogo does decide to go.
Flash, 100-yard dash.
This romantic comedy parody with Flash and Priscilla will test the limits of a waitress anxious to get off from her shift as she gets tickets for Giselle's concert. Just as we pointed out in our first look video, she's gonna be halfway between the adrenaline of working at full speed and waiting for the sloths. Her boss even says to her, "You're gonna be here all night." It's gonna be interesting to see how they manage the time dilation effect here, because from Flash and Priscilla's perspective, everything looks like it's moving at warp speed, while for everyone else is exactly the opposite, and we see and hear the sloths in slow motion. This episode could easily be 2 hours long or more if they went with the sloth's perspective in real time, but of course it would be too expensive and cruel to do something like that.
Sir, I got the bad guy. That's my job.
Your job is putting tickets on parked cars.
Are you excited as we are about this short series? We know you would have preferred a full-fledged sequel. We would have too, but we really appreciate that they use these small serial formats to expand on the lore of our favorite movies. Let's just hope Zootopia Plus does very well so they notice our interest in the franchise and give us a Zootopia 2 very soon. Anyways, that's all for today's video. Check the rest of our channel for more content about your favorite animated movies, and of course don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn your notifications on by hitting that little bell if you want to keep receiving awesome stuff like this. Bye.
Well, are you a cop or not?
Oh, yes! Don't worry, sir, I got